All right. This is June 2019. So you can note that as you're heading. Right. The goal is to do a few of these planning sessions for the letter today. So we want to get through at least 3, maybe spend a half an hour, no more than a half an hour on each one. Right? All right. So let's look at the scenario. The sister of your Mexican friend is getting married and has invited you to the wedding. Sister of your Mexican friend, right? Married, invitation to the wedding. Write the letter you sent to your friend in which you say how you feel about being invited. Talk about preparations you have made for your trip to Mexico. Ask advice on what gift you could bring. And then mention some of the things you hope to do at the wedding, right? So activities, and then also for the rest of your stay in Mexico. All right, so take a note of the key points, please, before we start writing out our points in response, our ideas in response to them. How would we feel about being invited to the wedding? You could tell me in English. How would you feel about being invited to the wedding? It has to be positive feelings, right? So you might feel, what, excited? In English, we're brainstorming in English first. We might be looking forward to it. And then what preparations would we make for a trip to Mexico? We might buy a ticket, right? But we might still have to pack our things. It depends on how close we are to the trip, right? Or we might be planning to buy the ticket and we might be planning what to pack. This is pretty straightforward. What gifts should we bring? Perhaps we might make a suggestion about what we're thinking of bringing. And what might we hope to do at the wedding? What can you do at the wedding? We might hope to dance. We might hope to greet family or meet family. Right? And then what do we plan to do the rest of us stay in Mexico? Well, typical tourist things, right? Eat. Okay, eat. All right, sure. What would we plan to do afterwards as we stay in Mexico? Easy things to say might be go to the beach and also go shopping. Right? And you could also say things like relax. All right. So now let's work out the vocabulary for these things that we've brainstormed. All right. So excited, to be excited. All right, I'm going to make a vocab list on the right-hand side here. Right? So estar emocionado or emocionada, right? So you will have to change it according to your gender, right? So to be excited. All right, what is to look forward to? What expressions do you know about looking forward to? Do you know esperar con ganas? So you're eagerly awaiting something, esperar con ganas. So that's this one, and that's this one, right? All right, we could buy a ticket. Okay, so to buy, it would be comprar. And when we're talking about tickets to go places, we use billete, right? So comprar un billete, right? If you haven't bought a ticket yet, you could say voy a comprar un billete de avión, right? Literally plane ticket. You could say you can speak with the travel agency, la agencia de viajes, right? And then the activities are pretty straightforward, right? So to eat, comer mucho, to eat a lot. And you could talk about delicious food, platos deliciosos, sabrosos, tasty, right? Dance, bailar. To meet the family is conocer a la familia, right? And we could say particularly like some grandparents or something. Okay, so all of this for activities, and then afterwards, relajarse, to relax, right? To go to the beach, ir a la playa, to go shopping, ir de compras, right? All right, guys, take a try. I'll not take a try, sorry. Note the vocabulary that you didn't already know for this question. Well, actually, probably just note all of it. So you'll have all the notes for the question in one place, right? And then once you're done with that, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. When you're done with that, we're gonna start writing out in sentences what we might say for 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, if anybody is not comfortable with writing the shall be letters still, you let me know. We could do that last. Instead of a third letter, right? Because my hope is we'll get through three letter plans today. All right, so we're doing June 2019. Right, and the gist of it is invitation from a friend, sister, friend in Mexico's sister. Right? Right. So the first thing is say how you feel about being invited. All right. So I've given you excited as an option. If you have another option, you could say, like some people might feel surprised. And then, so if the vocabulary is estar emocionado slash a. How do we turn that into a sentence? I was very excited. So how do we say I was very excited? What past tense would we use? Would we use pretérite? Is this a completed action, or is this a description of how we were feeling in the past? So therefore it went on for a while. Great. So it's okay. So estoy muy emocionado would be I am right now very excited, right? So we want imperfect. Great. So estaba muy emocionado, emocionada, right? To receive. Okay, so what is to receive? What's the verb for to receive in Spanish? I'm gonna put in yo here. Yo estaba muy emocionado. You pick the right one, right? What is to receive in Spanish? Recibir, right? So I was very excited to receive, right? So we put recibir. We don't need to put a preposition because recibir already means to receive, right? And what is an invitation in Spanish? Right. So invitation, all the TION words in English are CION words in Spanish, right? And they're usually feminine. So recibir una invitación, accent on the O, right? Right. Spell check is going to help me out, and I will not have to copy and paste any accents because it will pick them up for us, right? All right. So I was very excited to receive an invitation from your sister. How do we say from your sister? To hermana. Great. And how do we say from? What preposition would we use for from? De. Great. De to hermana. Now, if I wanted to be fancy and say from your older sister, what word do I have to put in to convey older? We met this last week. No, oh, good. Well, good guess. And let's clear it up now. Vieja is old. Now, there's a difference between saying your old sister and your older sister. One of them will get you punched in the face, and the other one will not. Right? So the one that will not get us beaten up is tu hermana mayor. So good effort. Right. Right. Okay, and mayor does not change for the gender. Whoops, that's mayor, not mayor. Right. Tu hermana mayor. Right? And you know, because I probably know her, I'm gonna put her name, Maria. Right? And you can put an accent on the I. As well, right? So old as in age is vieja or viejo, right? But older is mayor. And then the opposite of mayor is minor. Now, these are words we have to know. So if it was your younger sister, it would be minor, right? And it can become plural, minores and mayores, but it does not change for gender because it already ends in R. Things will only change for gender really if they end in an O. I think. I think there's an exception to that I can't remember right now. But in general, they only change in gender if they end in an O. Okay. Now, if you want to be fancy, you might also say, I was surprised. We said I was excited. I was very excited, but you could also say I was surprised a little, right? Or it surprised me a little. Now, how do we say it surprised me a little? What is the verb for surprise, to surprise in Spanish? Sorprender, right? To surprise. Right. Good. So sorprendido is the past participle. To surprise, right? So we could say, again, we could say estaba sorprendido or sorprendida. This time, just for variety, I'm going to use the verb sorprender, right? And it surprised me. So the object pronoun is me, right? Me sorprendió. It surprised me. Accents on the O, right? Which I can put because Google Docs helped me out up here with this one. So I've shown the examiner that I can use imperfect tense, and now I've used pretérito tense. Right, so it surprised me a little un poco. But I am looking forward to the wedding. I'm looking forward to the wedding. I gave you an expression for I am looking forward to. What was that expression again? And how do we conjugate it to say I am looking forward to? Yeah, I gave you esperar con ganas, right? It's great. So espero con ganas. Right? La boda, the wedding, right? And you could put la boda after espero. Oops, I have two peros here. Espero la boda con ganas too. Great, right? Anything else anybody wants to add here? If you want, you could also say, also, I'm looking forward to another trip to Mexico. We should know all the vocabulary for that, right? So también espero con ganas otro viaje a México. Right? That is optional. That's just a way to say, we didn't say Mexico. A way to say some extra in the letter in case you need to add things in, right? Okay, I'm happy to share this document with the people who participate, which so far has been a number of people, right? At the end of class or probably towards the break. So I make sure everybody gets it, right? So keep participating. If you can't write on everything, no problem. Okay, what is the next thing on our list to discuss? Talk about preparations you have made for your trip to Mexico, right? So preparations made for trip to Mexico. Now, what is a valid answer here? Honestly, anything you want. Perhaps you didn't prepare anything as yet. And you could say, No he preparado nada. Or yeah, you know, I haven't prepared anything as yet, right? Ya no he preparado nada because I'm very busy with school. But I am going to call the travel agency. I'm going to buy the ticket. I'm going to pack my suitcase next week. All of that next week, right? Um, Whatever. Or you could say I've already called the travel agency. Or you could say I bought the ticket. Whatever you are comfortable saying, that is what you could say, right? So y'all want to take a try? What might be something you would say if you're at this point in the letter? What preparations have you made for your trip to Mexico? And if you feel shy about saying it in Spanish, go ahead and put it in the chat in English. I organize my house. Okay, great. Arreglar mi casa. That's kind of fancy. I'm gonna erase what is on the screen, right? All right. Now, if you want to say you've already done something, what is a useful two-letter word you could use? You could say yeah. But we have to conjugate this, right? But okay, so really this is not a sentence. Yeah is already. Mi casa is two words, right? So anyway, to organize the house. I arranged my tickets. Does that mean I bought my tickets? All right, so comprar mis billetes. Oh, a beautiful outfit. Okay. Right. Okay, and what tense would be good for us to use there? We're saying things like I have bought, I have arranged. What tense is that? Okay, comprar un vestido bellissimo. All right, now remember that in English, you know a million ways to say a simple thing, right? Like, so we could say the most basic way um that you know how to say it in English is I bought a dress, right? You know the word dress. The next step up might be a beautiful dress. The next step up might be an outfit, right? So think of what would a primary school child vocabulary allow them to say? And that is the vision of that is the word you're looking for in Spanish, right? You will automatically think of more complicated things that will be hard to translate. So try and simplify your thought to find vocabulary you could use, right? I hope that makes sense, right? Well, perfect tense, right? Perfect tense, not past perfect, um, just perfect tense. I'm gonna make a note here for us to revise past perfect. All right, preparations made for your trip to Mexico. So let's get a few sentences here, right? I'm gonna go with what a student suggested, that we've already arranged our house. And if we can't remember arreglar, you know, we could say limpiar. So ya he arreglado. Is anybody seeing perfect tense for the first time? Mi casa, right? So perfect tense, I'm gonna write it down here, is haber in the present tense plus the past participle. If anybody's seeing it for the first time, you need to tell me, right? So I already arranged my house, and if you don't want to say arreglado, you could say limpiado, right? I have bought my ticket, he comprado. All right, now I have mis billetes plural, but you could say mi billete de ida y vuelta, which is return ticket, right? To go and come. All right. Now what's another word for also? We already used también. What else can we say? We want to say that we bought our and I said a beautiful dress, but not everybody will be wearing a dress. Because some of the writers of this letter will be male. So what would the, right, great, además is what we could use. What would the gentleman wear? Tell me in English, gentlemen, how would you, sorry. um, guys, I just have to share this contribution from Sarah. It's very funny and very Caribbean appropriate. I'm putting it in the chat. I just changing something here. Right. Because what do Caribbean people carry everywhere they go? They carry food, right? Anyway, to the matter at hand. Clothing to the gentleman in the class. How would you describe? So the woman might say, we bought a beautiful dress. What would the guy say? All right, so if woman, it could be tengo or además, right? Accent on the second E, right? So además, he comprado. Or you now if you want to use future tense, you could, right? Compró, no, compré, because it's I bought. Un vestido. I'll check the best. Accent on the E in compré, right? Bellissimo. And for the gentleman, it could be you compré you still have a chance to tell me how you want your clothing to be described, right? Un nuevo y hermoso traje, right? I bought a new suit. Yeah. Right? So we're doing well so far. We've used 3 different types of tenses: imperfect tense, present tense, perfect tense, right? What else? Right? And if you want to go the opposite way and say you haven't done anything, I'm going to put this in brackets, right? Because in the current letter we are writing, we cannot we can't fit, it wouldn't make sense to put it in. Or maybe we could fit it in with the food. Anyhow, yeah, no, what is it I was saying we could say that we haven't done anything? No he hecho nada, right? Ningún cosa, ninguna cosa, right? Yes, he preparado nada. These are also options, right? And then you could say tengo que, and everything we've already done, we put that in. Arreglar mi casa, etc. Right? So there are 2 ways you could go with this. One way showcases that you know past tense and perfect tense. The next way showcases you know negatives, right? Yeah, okay, so the gift. So the next thing that we had on this on the list was ask advice on what gift you could bring. Right, so we could showcase negatives now. We could say, all right, so all right. All right. What is the Spanish word for still? Not moving still, but like I still have this to do, I still have that to do. Okay, guys, sorry. Up here where I have a preparado nada, I need to say no a preparado nada, right? I left out the original no. Negatives in Spanish are double negatives, right? Todavía, great. Oh yes, aún as well. All right, so still, and then let's finish your thought. What do I still have to do? Before I forget, guys, I had offered to do extra orals practice on Sundays, and only like 2 students took me up on it. Do y'all need to, would y'all like to do some extra orals practice over the Easter vacation? As in, like, as a group, as a class, we go through the topics and answer a bunch of questions. Think about it. Okay, so still, I have to buy a gift. Todavía. What is I have to again? Tener que, right? As well as, you know, you could use my favorite expression in Spanish, which is I que. But we're gonna go with tener que today, right? Tengo que. All right, so todavía, accent on the I in todavía, right? I'm gonna wait for spell check to fix it for me. Because yeah, that's more efficient. Tengo que comprar un regalo para para María. Y su, what is fiance in Spanish? Good news is the same as boyfriend, right? So novio. All right, now how are we gonna ask for advice? No comma, right? Right. Yes. Okay. So probably the easiest and least stressful way to do it is to say, what do you think? Right? It's ¿qué piensas? ¿Qué piensas? Is that a G? Right. So ¿qué, Q, U, E, upside down question mark, right? Piensas. De, what should we get them? Okay, well, I'm gonna give them a clock. Un reloj. If you guys had to give a newly married couple a gift, what would you give them? A blender. Okay. All right. So let's put a list of things we could give them other than a clock. Any other ideas besides matching pajamas? Okay. All right. Blenders, liquidor. No other ideas? All right. So for matching pajamas, we could probably put pijamas de pareja. Right? It's like couples pajamas. Yeah. All right. All right. As a gift, como regalo. All right. What if we wanted to say, I don't have any idea what to get or what to buy? So that way we could use a negative expression. We could say, no tengo ninguna idea. Trini souvenirs. Yeah, that could work too. De que comprar. Oh, this is not a question. All right. We could say perhaps some chocolates, right? So quizás unos chocolates. Or what is souvenirs in Spanish? Unos recuerdos de aquí. I'm putting aquí, you put whatever country you're in, right? And then I don't have any idea what to get. Now, if you now look, I've written this as an incomplete sentence, right? It doesn't have a verb because I use the word perhaps. Now, if I put a verb, it has to be in the subjunctive. Because what am I really saying? Perhaps they might like. Maybe we could use it with the conditional. So instead of saying perhaps they might like, we'd be saying perhaps they would like, right? And we use gustar. So quizás a ellos, meaning the Maria and the fiance, right? Les gustaría unos chocolates, etc. Okay. Now you could put more than one gift idea, right? Because in reality, you're making suggestions and your friend will tell you which one they might like best, right? All right, let's look at the last parts. Mention some of the things you hope to do at the wedding and for the rest of your stay in Mexico. And this is the link to the question. All right, activities at the wedding and in Mexico after the wedding, right? All right, so at the wedding, a la boda, what are we going to do at the wedding? We're going to dance and sing. Okay, yes. And eat, we said eat a lot when we were brainstorming what to put, right? Um, now we have two choices here. We could use the future tense if we know it. But if we feel shaky on the future tense, we could say voy a. Right? So if we say future tense, a la boda comeré, yo comeré, I will eat mucho, right? So the future tense is we take the infinitive and we add on the future tense ending. So for you, that is e accent. Bailaré y, what's the last one? Cantar. Okay, cantaré mucho. We're not gonna say drink much, right? So eat, dance, and sing a lot, right? Voy a, or I want to meet your relatives. So quiero conocer a toda tu familia, right? No, we need I think we need a pronoun here. Do we need a pronoun here by conocer? Conocer says to meet. So let's reason it out. All right. I think we could probably leave it out. Um, we will leave it out. Quiero conocer a toda tu familia, right? Okay, is there anything else we need to say? Okay, after the wedding. So after is después de. Después de la boda, I'm going to relax. Easy, voy a relajarme. Or descansar. What other words you know for things you might do? Nah, I'm going to sleep here. But you'll still be in Mexico and there are things you'll want to do, right? So voy a relajarme. Y quiero. No, we're on vacation, we're not gonna work. Ir a la playa. These are probably the easiest things to say, right? But if there are other things you want to say, you could say. Ir a la playa y ir a. Ir de compras. Right? All right, so we pick from this, and then we around that we put the shell. Sorry if you were writing, I'm gonna go back down, right? We put the shell around it, you know, like just the opening part of um thanks for your last letter, and the closing part of greetings to your family, and I will see you soon, etc. Right? All right, anybody has questions they want to ask? If you have questions you want to ask, let me know. All right, I'm going to pause the recording, give everybody a chance to. All right, so details about the experience there, right? That's the first thing. Right? Description of what we left and why it is important. Right? So it's something of sentimental value. How and when your friend can return the item. Right? And express desire to visit again. Right? All right. So what kind of experience would we have had at our friend's house? Fun, right? So what kind of verbs are we looking at for to have fun? Probably one, the most common one that people will use, we will use, is divertirse, right? So this is our opening sort of general sentence, right? So, I had so much fun, me divertí mucho durante mi visita. So even though this is an action that went on for a period of time, it is completed now. Right? Okay, what do you think we enjoyed while we were there? The food, okay, comida, okay, great. So her mother's cooking. Um, okay, Call of Duty. Oh my God. All right. Um, if you could tell me how to say Call of Duty in Spanish, like what is the Spanish way to say it? Sure, we will put that in as an example. Uh, okay, so um, my favorite part. How do I say my favorite part? Mi parte favorito. De la visita fue was your mom's cooking, right? Las comidas. Um, that your mom prepared. Que tu mama preparó. Right? Accent anyway. fueron because it's las comidas, right? We've already said divertirse. We've already used divertirse. So what's another way to say I enjoyed the games that we played? Maybe encantarse. Yeah, we could talk more about this food, you know. You could say fueron si sabrosas. They were so tasty. You could say deliciosas too, right? This is just a little less used. So we might get points for vocabulary, right? All right, tell me about the games, guys. Nothing about the games? All right, what about disfrutar? So I know I told you encantarse just now. That's a possibility, right? But there's also disfrutar, to enjoy, right? All right, accent on the E in disfrute, right? Okay, so disfrute mucho los juegos de mesa, the board games, right? Como somebody said Monopoly. But somebody said Uno. Let's go with Uno. Says but that's not a board game. What's a board game? Chess, ajedrez, y también los juegos de video, right? Like Call of Duty. All right, accents on E for disfrute. No, no, no. You have to give me an E accent, friend. All right, you all can put in whatever game you want. Sorry, I'm looking for E accent here to fix this. Okay. Description of what I'll put this you. What do you think we left and why is it important? Well, we just said we played chess. So we could say we forgot our chess game. Right? So this way, after returning home, are you all tired? I'm sensing that we're tired. Yes, you could also say any other object. Mi vestido rojo, no problem. We'll make a list of things we could forget. All right, so después de volver a casa, what is it? What is to realize in Spanish? Useful expression. It's over here. Darse cuenta de. Right? Oh yes, a ring given by her grandmother. That's a nice thing. That could be for any gender, whether the student is male or female. All right. All right. So this person we after returning home, unfortunately, I realized, so now I need to put dar into preterite tense, right? So I realized dar is irregular. So D, right? But then I have me to account for because it's dar say. I forgot, so I'm using the reflexive pronoun me, right? So me D, cuenta de que I forgot. Olvidé. And now you put what it is you forgot. All right. So some suggestions were mi vestido rojo, my red dress. The ring from my grandmother, el anillo, well, mi anillo. De mi abuela, right? What was the thing I said? The chess game, right? Mi juego del well, del ajedrez. Right? Anything else anybody thinks they might have forgotten? It has to be something special, right? So it can't be like a towel. But these things could be very expensive or they could be very special. Okay, so it's muy okay, a mí to me. El whatever you wrote, so it's vestido or el anillo or el juego es muy especial y, well, importante, right? So I can't put Y for and since the sound of written E. Importante, right? I accent on the I here, right? I mean, or para me. Wait, where's my accent? Okay, it will appear just now. Anything else we want to say about the item? Do we want to ask our friend if they saw it? So we could say, have you seen it? Has visto el whatever. Vestido anillo game. Juego, right? How we change el to me. Have you seen my dress, my ring, my game? All right. Now, how is your friend going to return it to you? Are they going to put it in the mail? Are they going to send it by FedEx? What's the easiest way they can return it to you? Are they going to come and visit you and bring it? Is a member of their family traveling to where you live? Can they bring it? What would be a fairly easy solution to this problem that we could express in Spanish? I'm going to clear what we have on the left-hand side here, right? So what is to send? To send is enviar. All right, we're gonna finish this up and we will stop there once we're done with this, right? We're almost to the end. I can sense everybody getting tired, more tired, if that was possible. All right, and then by mail is por correo, right? You can send it to me by mail, might be easy to say. And if you want to say insured mail, you would say, you would add on the term asegurado. Because if the thing is important. All right, so yes, you could say a parent could collect it. Or you could say when you visit me next month, you could bring it, please. Right, okay. Okay, here is a suggestion from Knut that we could use. All right. Now, I don't think the question wants us to give a bunch of different options, right? But I'm gonna write out a couple for you to have as a reference. You know, another nice line we could put in here that we know the vocabulary for is "it is my treasure." Es mi tesoro. Just to emphasize how special it is. Our chess game. Why it is important. We've answered that. In case the ring is clear why it is important, because it was the grandmother. We could also say fue un regalo. Anyhow, let's leave that alone. That you pick and choose what you would use from there, right? All right. So, all right. So we're asking a favor, right? So favor de enviar. Or you could say por favor, puedes enviarme el whatever, el anillo, vestido, regalo, right? Por correo, right? And we could say asegurado. Just as a way to be a little fancy by insured mail, right? Another option is, so I'm skipping a line so we're clear, it's you choose one, not the two, right? Mi mamá, oh, okay, so during a visit next month, durante su visita el próximo mes, right? Mi mamá puede recogerlo. Do we say recogerlo or do we say recogerle here? My mother can collect it. Yeah, I think it's le. because it's not an indirect pronoun, right? Lo would be for the indirect pronoun. All right. What was another option someone gave us for this one? When you visit me next month, right? Okay, so no. My concern is if we say that, we have to use subjunctive if we phrase it like that, right? Because it's in the future, it hasn't happened yet. So it's a possibility, so it would take subjunctive, right? So we could say it, we could say cuando me visites, right? El mes que viene, right? Now the difference between this option and the one above with the mom is the one above is stated as a definite thing that is happening. I know. So so if we had rephrased the sentence, if we had said next month when my mother visits, then we would have the when in that sentence, and we would have to put it in subjunctive, right? So when you visit me next month, um puedes, you can bring it, right? Traerle. And if you want to be fancy, you could just say during my mother's visit, she could collect it, or when you visit next month, you could bring it. All right, last piece. I would love to visit. So that is conditional tense. I would love to do something. We used disfrutar and we used divertirse. So let's try encantar. So me encantaría. Accent on the I, right? Visitar, to visit again. Otra vez. And soon, y pronto, right? Or you could even say otra vez pronto. What do you think is going to keep me back from visiting again? What would keep you from going on a trip to see a friend next month in another country? Exams, great. So what can we say? After my exams? Or we could say during the vacation. All right, so durante las vacaciones de julio agosto, right? Or de verano, because they have a summer possibly, right? After my exams, después de mis exámenes, right? What are we saying? I'm going to visit again. I will visit again. I will visit you, right? Te visitaré, right? What's another thing we probably have to do? We probably have to save up money, right? right? So we have to say, we could say to tengo que ahorrar el dinero para el viaje también, right? All right, to go back to the recogerlo discussion, Sarah is reminding me that it's recogerlo. It's lo when it's an object and le when it's a person. All right, let me think about that some more and remind me next week. We'll come back to it. The discussion about whether it's lo or le or la. Well, it's not la because all these things are masculine, right? All right. All right. So we would put our sheller on this letter, glad to hear from you. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Write me soon. Hugs. And so on. Right? Anything else that we want to discuss in relation to this letter? Does anybody have a request for something that we do next week? Mock exams are coming up. All right, orals. Do you all want to try again with the Sunday sessions? Or do we want to, over Easter vacation, take a few days and go through topics? Easter vacation. All right. So Easter vacation, we will plan to plan sometime during the days to go through topics. So you all will find out closer to Easter, probably some of your teachers will want you to come in school. This always happens to some students over Easter. So let's sort out our schedules and then we'll plan days and times closer to Easter, right? But this is not an individual exercise. This is more like a group activity where we go through questions on each of the 6 topics, right? All right, so I'm going to stop the recording here. If you're still writing, you're welcome to continue. And if you have questions, you can remain and ask them. Other than that, once you're done, you all are free to go, right?